what do you do if you're in a company, you literally have no leads, and they give you absolutely nothing and expect you to go out and get business? Should you leave? Should you stay? How do you find success? Before you walk out the door, let me give you some ideas first. Check it out. Hey, everyone. Welcome to another great episode of the Sales Evangelist Podcast. I'm your host, Donald C. Kelly, the Sales Evangelist. And I'm so excited for another great episode. I'm so excited to be here with you today. On this episode of the Sales Evangelist, I'm going to talk to you about a topic that came up. And this is one that you get commonly among salespeople, especially new sellers in their roles or people in organizations where you start a new company. Doesn't necessarily need to be a brand new salesperson, but start a new company. And you find that the company looks great. They've been around for a while, but then in actuality, they don't have anything to give you as a sales rep. I'm going to tackle that. But before I do, if this is your first time listening to our show, please consider subscribing. You can also go to thesalesevangelist.com. You can download my free LinkedIn prospecting guide. You can also connect there to get some tips. We send out email weekly where we provide sales insights and tips that can help you to improve your sales game. You can also connect with me on LinkedIn as well, Donald C. Kelly. But let's go ahead and dive into the convo today. This one comes when you come back to this individual sales rep. She or he find themselves in an organization where they get no leads. The first thing I would tell you is no two sales jobs are created equally. So I will preface it this way. There are other opportunities out there. And one of the things that you can do is to keep looking for great fits. You don't want to be in an environment that is going to be hard for you to succeed. Like, you don't need to make it to work harder than it already is. And sales is a tough profession. So that's the first thing that I'll tell you is I go back to a quote one of my friends' brother always shared with him. It was the best time to find a job is when you got a job. So if you have a job, you're stable, you probably can look and explore and see what's out there. You don't want to just jump every 6 weeks or 6 months or a couple of years. You want to stay in an organization so you can have some longevity and see success. And if the organization isn't going to help you to thrive and to be successful, then you go. But let's say you find yourself in an organization. This is a good environment. The organization is up and coming. But I want to go back to this question that came. I'm about to start on my third month at a new company. This is my first real sales job, and I've been in 2 other roles that were sales focused, including a management role. But in those, there were tried, but in those, they tried to disguise that. That means that this is the first time where I have access to normal sales tools. The challenge comes in with this individual share that they don't have access to leads though, or inbound or any market research. They go so far as to share that one of the executives yelled at them, marketing leaders, and say, "You're not getting anything from us. You need to go figure it out and find it yourself." In a situation like that, where they're not, if it's yelled at, and we'll probably preface, if it's really yelled at or if it's harsh talking, either way, I don't want to be in an environment that I'm not going to enjoy. So that's the first thing. So I probably would look towards it. But let's look to another job. But let's go back again. And let's say the benefit of the doubt, it's a good organization, but they just don't have anything for you. And you have to figure it out on your own. What would you do? Here's 3 things that I would do. And I've done because I've been in situations where I've been in companies where there's no inbound and you have to go out and hunt and you eat what you kill. So the first thing is to find people that are close to you in proximity. Find people close to you in proximity. And what I mean by this is not everyone you don't want to think about it as like Cutco knife or like any direct sales position where all of a sudden you're going to hit up your family and friends and everybody you know and tell them to buy knives and Tupperware they don't need. But you can go to your network and find people who are close to the ICP of who could potentially buy your stuff and start conversations with them. So I'll give you what this might look like. I would go to Sales Navigator and I would pull up my network. You probably have 500, 1,000, 200, 2,000 people you're connected with. You probably have some level of people who are your ICP that are in that pool or that are in that related industry. What I would do literally is this. It's a strategy I teach in my LinkedIn prospecting course, and I've told you about it before, but it's permission to ask a question. Now, I want to preface, this is only good per se with people you are already connected to. One more time. This is only good per se with people you are already connected to, meaning they know me and I know them. It's proximity, people who are closest to me. It's the easiest. So those people are more likely to respond to me into a dialogue. Now, what I'm going to do is get their help. And the reason why, again, is close to me in proximity. Think about reaching out to somebody cold. That person, you have to try to convince them first, break through the noise and get in touch with them, and then try to convince them to have an appointment with you. But somebody that knows you already, they're more than likely to connect with you. And what I would say at that point, they're going to let's say you send it out to 10 people. More than likely, you're probably going to get 50 to 70% of those people who are going to say, sure, what's up, Mary? What's up, Donald? What's up, Shanika? What's up, Chantel? What's up, Jermaine? What's up, what's a name, random name? Abil. There you go. So shout out to the Abils out there. But what you want to do at that point is then ask them a specific questions about that particular what you're looking for. So I might say something to the nature of, I just started in a new position in blank in the industry, the same industry you're in, and I'm curious to ask, curious and thought about you guys. Are you guys have you ever considered looking at a new CRM? If I'm selling CRM, I know the CRM example again, but just go along with it. And that person is more than likely to respond to me. Now, what this does is that it one gives me confidence because I'm getting appointments or getting conversations, and I'm getting appointments potentially from that because people will say, yeah, sure, I'm open to learning more. Let's set up a time to chat or whatnot. Or two, I'm also getting the confidence knowing that, well, I guess that's probably the first thing. You're getting the appointments, and that's great, but you're getting confidence knowing that this works and then people are interested. And it pumps you up for the next go around that you can actually go reach out to other people, cold people at this point, or the warm prospects, and feel confident that you've done this before, that people are interested and are excited about it. But the proximity thing is so easy, and oftentimes we overlook it. But it's reaching out to people that you're already connected to within your industry that you know, and asking them permission to ask a question. Don't pitch them yet. Ask them permission to ask a question. Then you frame your value proposition. To make it even better, I would probably use a video if I'm doing this on LinkedIn, and you should be. Or I might send an audio message through LinkedIn's voice message feature. I would do it on Sales Navigator and build that list there because that way you can easily track and see what's going on with them. But that's what I would do. That's the recommendation that I would do. Proximity. Find people close to you. The second thing with proximity is that I would connect with people who are in industry. Maybe they're not necessarily a good fit for my business or as the ICP, but they probably can give me more intel. And I would just say, hey, I'm new into the industry. I wanted to get some insights and some directions. Would you be open to a 5 to 7 minute conversation? Again, people already know me, so they're more than likely to accept. What's the benefit of this, Donald, if they're not going to buy from me? Well, the thing is, they know people in industry, and they could probably give you direction. They probably could give you people that you could partner with, or probably give you some context to help you to be more successful. Events that you could go to, online groups you could take advantage of, and ways to get up market or to get access to some of the individuals. Phraseologies, messaging, challenges going on in industry, and all this can help you to frame as you're reaching out to cold people. So proximity is the first one. Number two, target accounts. So now that I have an understanding of who potentially could buy from me, I tested it out with my, friends, people in my network, and people who could buy and that know me. And maybe some of them did, and maybe some of them didn't. But the fact is, it gave me some direction, and now I know who I should be going after. Now, again, all of this is based on the idea that I'm going in a company that don't necessarily give us a whole bunch of direction, much less leads to take advantage of, and you have to go out and hunt for yourself. But I would go to a target account now, and I would focus on those target accounts. Just like I teach all the time and preach, I would go to LinkedIn, build out the list, and I'll probably find 2 or 3 individuals within that company, depending on the size of the organization I'm going after. And I would take time to focus on those accounts. I probably do focus accounts, several accounts per week, per day, probably depending on how deep it is. But I found if I can do research and do I can probably do 2 to 3 accounts a day, if within a allotted period of time that I can multi-thread in, and then obviously do your other prospecting efforts, follow-ups, and so forth. But I would take that target account, and that's how I would really focus my time. So I'm doing one, people close to me in proximity. 2, I would do the target accounts, and I would reach out to them, and I would send a personalized LinkedIn connection request message, and then I would send a personalized email to follow up with that. Talked about that on a previous piece of content. Now, number 3, this is where I would do my larger campaign to my tier 2 people. So this is like maybe I'm doing a cold outreach, and I've seen companies out there, and I want to give a big shout out to my friends over at Full and Rich. One of the things that Ben, the CEO there, recommended, and it's different nowadays, right? He talked about working with an agency that can do a larger outreach campaign depending on the size of your company. But for the most part, as an individual rep, you're not going to have access to that. But what you can do is that you can take advantage of tools like Full and Rich to pull information from LinkedIn and then enrich it and get their name and their email addresses, and then you can do outreach based on the role. So maybe these are not going to be my focus accounts, but these are secondary accounts, and these could be companies where I'm going to focus on the challenge that they might be facing. So again, I'm selling CRM, so I'm going to reach out to maybe the CMO, or I'm going to reach out to VP of sales. I'm going to reach out to those individuals, and I'm going to speak to the challenge that those industries may be facing. If I have intent-based data, absolutely, I'll use that. But if I don't, these are my tier 2 accounts. They're not my focus accounts, but I'm going to reach out to them, and I'm going to speak to the pain that role has. So you might say, I don't know exactly what that is. This is where ChatGPT comes in. I would go to Chat, and I would ask Chat to identify the challenges that CMOs are facing in this type of business when it comes to their CRM. And then I would use that data to then formulate, based on information I also got from my people close to me in proximity, that may not be ideal customer, gave me intel. I'd formulate my message around those information, and I would use that on a larger scale to do outreach to those tier 2 accounts. If you're doing this, and I'll probably do at that point, you're doing a decent amount. You should be doing like probably probably about a 25, 30, 40 outreach activity to that tier 2 per day. And then you're doing your tier 1 outreach. And then you're obviously, you have your proximity folks that you're reaching out to and connecting to. If you're doing this consistently, you're going to see results. And I know the part that comes in is you're going to get burnt out. And the question that a person posed was they're concerned about getting to the point, how did I say? They're just getting to the point where they feel like they're getting burnt out, and that it's past that excitement. Well, I tell you, don't quit 3 feet from goal, because if you put so much work in already, if based on a scenario that I gave you, those 3 things, if you're doing those 3 things, the law of averages is going to be in your favor. So by month 3, you're going to see that you can gain, by the 3rd week, you're going to see that you're gaining opportunities consistent. You're going to get a conversation or connects and get some opportunities that will come from it. But it requires you to have some stick-to-itness beforehand. And you're going to find that you fine-tune the way your messaging is, the way you do your emails. If you just set the emails and just let it go out there and you're not getting any success from it, then you're not doing it right. Reiterate, try different subject lines, try different messaging. Can you shorten the email? Can you just ask one question? Those are some of the things that I would do, and I've seen that to work when I've tested them out. I'm even doing one of those tier 2 campaigns right now. It's not working the way I would like it, so now I'm fine-tuning it. I'm making it down to one question, and I've done that before with the one question. I saw better results. I'm changing the subject line. All of these things you want to reiterate and to iterate and try and to test. My focus counts, I'm seeing great success with that, and then also building appointments, focusing on my focus list through my proximity, and I'm seeing great success from that one. I cannot tell you how beneficial it is. And I think we've gone into an era where we're seeing a lot more. It's hard to get in touch with prospects. So using our proximity, people close to us, to be able to get access to more information. I would love to hear which one of these jumps out to you the most and makes the most sense to you. You can reach out to me on LinkedIn, Donald C. Kelly, and just tell me, Donald, listen to the episode. This makes so much sense to me. Would love to hear from you. Go ahead and drop me a message. Listen, when it's all said and done, I want you to thrive. I want you to succeed. Whether you're in a situation like this where you're not getting any help or you have leads coming in, I want you to build a healthy pipeline. You need 3 times to 5 times more than what you feel is comfortable for your quota. I want you to be able to feel confident in being able to do so. We can help you with that with our LinkedIn prospecting course, or you can go to our mastermind where you get a chance to come as a sales rep and get help and guidance. I want you to be able to have opportunities to be able to close more deals. But most importantly, I want you to challenge yourself to raise your level of thinking, to go out and do big things. Thanks so much for watching.